Hey, everybody, it's Mark Schultz here this morning, and wanted to come to you live today with a special backstage edition of Recovery in Aviation. I'm actually back in my studio right now today, and I have never done that before. And I've had a lot of people asking me about what I do and how I do it, and want to learn more about what we do in the backstage. And so I thought I'd open it up. Thought I'd open up the studio to you today and see if we couldn't get some people online here and have a little bit of a conversation about digital and how we can go live and do different broadcasts and things like that. So join me here today and let's have a discussion about digital transformation. So you know that at Digital Aircraft that we are uniquely focused on digital and digital transformation within the aviation industry. And, you know, we've had a lot of interesting things that we've done. Like last month, we actually did a big virtual summit. And I know many of you have actually attended that virtual summit. And, you know, we actually had we had close to 6,000 people that registered for the live event, the Recovery in Aviation event. And, you know, on different platforms, we had 20,000, you know, viewers on Vimeo on our main platform. And then we were also live on YouTube and on Twitter and LinkedIn and a lot of different places. And so it was really a great networking kind of an event. And I've had a lot of people ask me about it and ask, you know, what are some of the tricks? What are some of the tricks of the trade and of the secrets that we do? So anyway, you know that for many years now, I have focused on digital and digital transformation in the airline industry, and that's been the topic of discussion. And that's really my experience. It's really my background in that. Hey, listen, we got a lot of people joining us right now on the broadcast, and I wanted to invite you to join us on the broadcast. And if you would share this session, that would really help us out here, and we'd get more people to join us here. But right now, we're live on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different platforms right now, and so we're really trying to get the message out about recovery in aviation and get some ideas and some thoughts about how we've learned and how things are going within aviation and what you can do in your businesses to be able to grow in the industry. So we have two major aspects of what we do here at Digital Aircraft. And the two major aspects are focusing on helping people in the implementation of digital and helping to roll out digital within the industry. And helping from the standpoint of connecting people with different technology and different solutions, and what are the needs that people have, and just what do people have to do to be able to do a successful digital implementation within the different spaces they are. I've done over 200 implementations at airlines and MROs of different IT, you know, kind of systems over my career. And so, you know, we have a lot of background in that area. And so the one thing that we do is we try to help people from a technical standpoint to be able to do implementations. And then the other thing that I've done is, hey, everybody, how you doing? I see you're joining out there. Hey, give me a shout out from where you are. And some of the platforms, I can't see your comments, but some of them I can. So if you're on LinkedIn or one of those places, give me a shout out that you're on LinkedIn and you're watching. And we'll answer some of your questions that you might have from LinkedIn. So anyway, the other thing that we do is we focus on trying to help people to be successful in getting their message out for their business. So like, for example, is that we help people to learn how to better use social media and how to better use digital to be able to get their message out about their business. And so you may be a person who's trying to implement digital, okay? And you may also be a person who is, let's see, it says that we're having a little problem here with our stream on LinkedIn. And looks like it hasn't gone live on LinkedIn here this morning, all right? So looks like we're only on YouTube and on Facebook and some other platforms right now. Sometimes that happens. When you're trying to do live broadcasts, sometimes things happen. And things go live or they don't go live, and there could be a problem with it going live on LinkedIn, but maybe it'll come in. Maybe the stream will come back in here in a bit. We'll see. We'll see if it comes in. All right. So anyway, want to talk a little bit about what we do here in the backstage and some of the things that we do to be able to leverage social media to be able to get our message out. All right. So one of the most important things that we need to be doing in the industry today is we need to be leveraging media, social media, virtual media, digital media, in order to be able to get our message out. All right. And so if you're a business who is looking at, what do I do in my industry today? What do I do in order to be able to grow my business at a time when certain portions of the aviation sector or of the aviation aerospace industry are not as successful as the others? All right. And so, I myself personally had to address that, had to deal with that. And it looks like we're live on LinkedIn now. We had a problem going live initially, but it looks like we're live now. And so just wanted to give a shout out to all of you that are watching on LinkedIn here right now. And if you have questions or comments, during our live broadcast this morning, just throw them into the comments and we'll address them live here today. So I see that we got a bunch of people joining. Hey, if you want to tell me where you're at and where you're currently located at, it's always fun to know where people are at because our broadcasts really go out worldwide. They go out around the world. So anyways, reach out to me and let me know where you're at. And so let's continue to go here. So if you're looking at your business and what you have to do to be able to grow in the aviation aerospace industry right now, last month in our summit, for those of you that attended, that we had 61 speakers over 3 days. And over those 3 days, we did hour-long sessions and interviews with different businesses. And let me tell you, one of the really interesting things that I learned during that summit and over the course of this year is that there are sectors of the aviation aerospace industry that are growing right now. There are sectors that are growing, and there are portions of the industry that actually have achieved record profits this year. There's some companies that are being very, very successful, extremely successful. And so, if you're sitting and looking at what's currently happening with your industry, you might be in a part of the industry where there's cutbacks. And, unfortunately, there's a lot of cutbacks going on in the commercial airline space right now, in the regional airline space right now. And we've had some layoffs, and, my heart goes out to you. And listen, if you're in one of those sectors where, you got laid off and you're looking for some new opportunities, I wanted to encourage you to reach out to me, and I might be able to connect you with some people. And so I'm specifically giving you an offer that if you are in a position where you have become, jobless right now in one of the aviation aerospace sectors, reach out to me on LinkedIn. And I have helped people to be able to find new job opportunities during this difficult time. And so I'm making an offer for you to reach out to me. Hey, we have some additional people joining us. We have Luai from Yemen that has joined us, and it's always exciting to see people all around the world that join us. But listen, I wanted to make that specific offer to you that if you are challenged right now and you're in a part of the industry right now that is laying off, or you found yourself unemployed, I'm happy to try to create networks and connections. And so reach out to me on LinkedIn, and I'm happy to try to help you. Listen, but then you might also be in a part of the aviation sector where there's growth happening right now. Like if you're in business aviation, I know companies that have reached record profits this year within business aviation. And so, you might want to think about considering, pivoting of your business and seeing if the products and services that you have can address the business market or an adjacent market, to where you currently are. Also, aircraft modifications in the area of cargo. Recently I read an article that said that it's difficult to even find a cargo airplane these days because cargo transportation has increased so dramatically. Now, there's some different factors that have really been a result of that. And so, like, for example, a lot of the passenger aircraft carried cargo on every flight. And so with the reduction of passenger aircraft flights, and the reduction of cargo, that's increased cargo transport for the specifically cargo-only aircraft. And FedEx and UPS and other cargo carriers, Amazon, they're all doing extremely well right now. And so if you're looking for, a place that you can pivot to, cargo is a place that's, doing really, really well. And you should think about whether that's an opportunity where you can go into. Aircraft modifications, are doing well right now. We all in the industry got a lot of people joining us, here, and people are saying, "Hey, great aviation updates within the market, good initiative." Andre here, he's says good initiative, and I just want to be able to share, knowledge that we have, within the industry, because I am working with people every single day. So I was up, early this morning for me. I'm usually up early, and my first call was with somebody in Madrid, and then my next call this morning already was with somebody in the U.S. Here, and yesterday I had calls with people in the U.K. and people in Berlin and people in India, and so what I'm trying to tell you is that one of the things I'm constantly doing is I'm constantly networking. All right, and so it's extremely important at this point in time, in this industry, that if you want to grow your business, or if you want to be able to recover what you're doing, or if you want to increase what you're doing, there's a couple of key things that you need to do. I personally am just telling you about my own journey. My own journey is that I have focused on networking. I have focused on what can I do to connect with people in the industry. I have connected with hundreds of new people this year in the industry, and it has created new opportunities for me within business and to be able to grow my business. Now, that's one thing that we do. We're trying to leverage our networks, and we're trying to connect with people. And legitimately, when I use the word leverage, think about that for a minute. I'm not talking about leveraging somebody else. I'm not talking about using somebody else. What I'm talking about is creating valuable connections with people where I can help them and they can help me, and we can reciprocate. All right. So, like, for example, in the virtual conference that we had last month, like I told you, we had 6,000 people that registered, all right? And I had 61 speakers. Well, every one of those speakers that was in that event created new connections and new opportunities to meet people and find new opportunities for business. I know for a fact that every single one of the speakers that was on that event created new connections and started new dialogues with people about their industry and about their business and about how to be able to grow. And I've continued to work with different companies from that summit to be able to help them to create connections. People have contacted me and said, "Did you meet anybody in the summit that is in the area of business aviation, and do they need any software? Are they interested in records? Are they interested in ERP, or different things like that?" So that's one really valuable thing that I continue to do, is to do networking. All right, let me talk to you about some of the ways that I do networking. All right. Hey, good morning. I see Kieran's out there. Kieran, glad to have you on board. Kieran is one of the guys that I've been talking to from Real Variable, and they have a great blockchain platform, and they're really helping people in logistics, out there. And so, that's just one example of some of the networking that I've done this year, and people, that I've connected with. And so, if you're looking for an ERP platform that optimizes logistics and to be able to optimize the flow of materials and parts and things, that is a guy that you can reach out to. Here, I'll put it up there again. That's Kieran Prakash. So anyway, that's a great company with Real Variable. All right. Listen, there's a free plug right there. And those are the kind of things that I do, is that I try to help people. Hey, I also got Simon Barker out there. And Simon, I'm doing great. Hey, thanks for joining us. And Simon has got a great business going too. They are actually in the virtual business. They actually create conferences and connect people on conference platforms. And if you want to do networking, you should be looking at, how do I network with people through a lot of the conferences out there today. Hey, listen, let me tell you why I did the virtual summit last month. All right. Is that people are coming to me and saying, how do I connect out there today? What do I do? How do I connect with people? My conferences are gone. I can't have personal, in face-to-face meetings. We're not traveling right now. And so what do we do? How do we supplement that? Virtual. Look at what we're doing right now. Okay. We're having a virtual conversation and discussion. And, this is how we're connecting with people today. We're creating networking. We're creating virtual conversations and discussions. And this is something you need to be doing. And a lot of you that are reaching out to me right now are reaching out to me on LinkedIn. And that's a place that we need to leverage. Hey, let me give you a few tips that I have about using LinkedIn. All right. Is provide value on LinkedIn. First of all, If all you're doing is reaching out to people and selling to them on LinkedIn, a lot of times, people are contacted constantly all day long and they're trying to be sold to. And if you want to become known on LinkedIn, and if you want to provide connections and value to other people and ultimately be able to do business with them, provide them some value. Go on to LinkedIn and don't just post that I have a product for sale. Provide them some value. Talk to them about how to solve a business problem, about some of the challenges that people have in the industry or what people are doing to create success. I'll just tell you right now is that, let's see, 3 years ago, I sat with my daughter in a hotel in Vancouver. That's where she was working at the time. And I told her, I said, hey, Rachel is her name. She's an animator at DreamWorks down in Los Angeles right now. But I told her, I said, hey, I'm going to blow up my LinkedIn. I said, I got 1,000 connections on LinkedIn right now. And I'm going to get 3,000 connections is what I told her. All right. And, at that time, that was where I was. And I said, I need to grow my network. I need to learn how to reach out and meet and greet new people. And so I started by, reaching out to people and providing value and following their feeds and commenting and providing value to them is actually helping them to be successful in the posts and things that they were doing. And then connecting with people that I knew, and gradually, one by one, I started to get more connections on LinkedIn and started to have more exposure, in social media. And before you knew it, I had that 3,000 connections, and, today, I've continued to do that for a couple of years. And I know there's people that have way more connections and followers than what I do. I know there's people that have 500,000 and I can't even conceive of that. I guess that's where I want to go next. But right now I'm just under 20,000 connections. And when I go look at the people that are my connections, they're solid connections. There are people that are, leaders in industry and people that are followers and people that are, all part of this valuable network of connections in aviation. And I leverage that. When I want to talk to people about an event, I'll jump online and I'll tell people about the event coming up, invite them to come be part of it. But, that's that solid 20,000 network, 20,000 people that I've built on a network. And that's become a really valuable resource because now I can reach people like yourselves and we can have conversations. And hey, listen, if you have any questions out there, let's get a conversation going here. So I have somebody here who just made a comment a little bit ago that I missed here. And here somebody said, hey, conversions from passengers to freighters is busy right now. And so I have a friend that was looking for a job. And I connected him to a couple of people, and he ended up going to work down in Florida here recently for HACO down in, I think it's Lake City, Florida. But if you're looking for something, let me know. Maybe I can help connect you up. Hey, I got some questions that have come here. Let's answer some questions. Here, I can't answer this. I'm sorry, but Simon asked, will Trump stalling on the next bailout package cause more U.S. carriers to go bust soon? Hey, listen, I want you to know that there's a lot of debate over what's the right action to take in the U.S. with respect to the airlines. And I'm just going to say that a lot of times there's misinformation outside the country. I'm going to just tell you, as I've been watching the news and I haven't heard anything about Trump stalling on the next bailout package. What it is it's the Senate and it's Congress, which can't get their act together and agree on, something which provides stimulus to the industry. And so what will happen, Simon? I'm not really sure. I know they're actively talking about it right now, and there's discussions about how do we help. But I know that when people get laid off from airlines, that it's very difficult to claw them back again. And so, it's going to be difficult, and we're going to have to see what happens. But, I just want to give all of you this advice, Simon included. All right, listen, is that we need to look around us, and we need to see what's happening in the world we're in. And we need to adapt our business to what it is that's happening around us. We have no choice. All right. And that I just be honest with you is that I'm not sitting around wondering when I'm going to get the next, stimulus or when the next bailout's going to come, because I need to grow my business in whatever environment I'm in. I don't have control over those factors. And so one of the things I'm doing is I'm getting about doing things like this. I'm getting on social media. I'm talking to people. I'm creating networks. I'm creating connections. I'm bringing people together. And we're having discussions about doing business. Listen, I've created 7 or 8 new business opportunities in the last month, just by doing networking, and they're major business opportunities. I mean, I'm talking about starting new companies and helping people with acquisitions and growing people in sales and marketing and talking to people about implementation of new software. We're talking about a lot of different things right now. And so, what my answer is that it's not about a stimulus. It's about how do I get moving? How do I grow, what it is that I'm doing. All right. Listen, I just want to tell you something is that last month when I decided that I was going to do a virtual summit, all right, I had done broadcasts like this. And I'm going to just tell you is that I don't think I've ever had more than, I think the most I ever had was about 300 people register for one of my live events. All right, 300. All right. And I was pretty excited about that because there was a time when I had 10 people register or 15 people register. But last month, we had 6,000 people register for the virtual summit that I put together. Why? Because I really ramped it up. I really said, in order for me to be able to be successful, I have to create something bigger and something better and something higher quality and something that's better than what else is happening out there in the industry. And so that's what we did. And I really got a lot of feedback from people saying that it really created value for them. All right. So let's see. Just got a little comment here from Zaria, and she says, everything fine over there? Yep, everything's fine over here. Hey, listen, though, there's a lot of different things happening in different places here in the U.S., and I'm in the Pacific Northwest, and it's really, really sad because there's a lot of forest fires on the West Coast. There's been over 1 million acres in some fires that have burned in California. And we actually have had a lot of smoke that's come up here and created a lot of problems. Our air quality has been really, really bad. And so, how are things going? Well, we got a lot of challenges. The industry has got some challenges, and we have some fires going on, and we have some politics and some elections going on. But let me just say this, is that I have to continue in my business no matter what's going on. I have to look around at what's happening around me and create success, whatever's going on. Let's see, we got some other questions that are come here. Let me just pop this up here. Since thousands of aircraft are currently in cold storage, how much time and money do airlines need to spend to make it airworthy once the traffic starts getting back to normal? All right, Kieran, that's a good question. I've talked to, different people, and I'm not really sure that would be the exact question that I would ask. That's a good question. Okay, but let me just say this, is that the problem that we have is the demand is not there, right? And so, I know that over time that the demand is going to increase and more aircraft are going to be put back into service again, all right? But the problem is that the demand isn't there. And so I just don't think we're going to see a big spike of aircraft that have to go into service, all right? Just think about it. Is that October is typically the lowest season, the lowest time for airlines right now, all right, October. And so not only do we have, some problems with the economy down, but we also we're in the low part of the season, October. And then typically we would see an increase in November and December. I personally am flying to Florida in November. I'm not afraid to fly right now. I'm flying where I need to go. It's just that there's limited reasons to go places, and fly. I happen to be going to visit family that live in Florida. And so the reason I'm flying is going to visit family in November. And so, we're going to see an increase in traffic in November and December from personal travel. But, a lot of people are just choosing to not travel. So, Kieran, I think we're going to see a gradual increase. And so it's going to happen over time. It's not going to happen all at once. And I don't think we're going to see a big spike, that's going to occur, right? Let's see, you got a question here from Luai. How can a maintenance guy leverage from a network in such a time? Okay, listen, hey, what I would suggest is that, first of all, I don't know whether, you're employed right now or whether you're unemployed, all right? But if you're employed right now, I would certainly reach out to people and make connections and have conversations with people, within the industry, because you don't know how long you're going to be employed right now, okay? We never know when an event is going to happen, which might cause us to lose our job or to have to move on. And so if you have a job, I would definitely be networking, all right? If you don't have a job right now, I would be networking on LinkedIn and places like that to be able to find an opportunity. And I just said earlier is that if anybody is looking for work out there today, I am more than happy to try to help people. And you can reach out to me, and I have personally helped people, and I know that they've been able to find jobs as a result of some of our conversations, Let's see, we got Zuria. She said she's from Brazil, down to Rio. Hey, Rio's a great city. I was down in Rio. It's been a little while now, but it was really fun to go down there. And I was down there on business, visiting an MRO. And it happened that I had to stay over the weekend, and had a great chance to go down to the beach and see the Santa de Cristo and different things like that. And so it was really cool. So welcome, glad to have you from from Brazil. Got a new comment from Simon. He says, "Agree with you, Mark, that social media networking is vital, but we must, as an industry, do airport testing to get more passengers back on board." Hey, I think I agree with you, on that, Simon. There are definitely things that have to be put in place, in order to be able to get people traveling again. If you look around the world, we see that that different countries, have different requirements. And like, for example, in some countries, you have to quarantine, for 14 days when you travel there. And I just am not going to travel somewhere where I have to quarantine for 14 days. And then one of the guys on my summit, he said that he traveled to the Ukraine, and his travel experience was that when he got there, they did a coronavirus test. They put a tracking app on his phone. He had to go back to the hotel, and he had to quarantine. And then when he got a negative response on the coronavirus test, then he was released to go. He didn't have to quarantine. And so I know that a lot of times people they object to the testing or the quarantining or the tracking. And Simon, you are absolutely right. We are going to have to find a way to be able to operate within this environment. And in order to be able to travel internationally, we're going to have to do something. We're going to have to probably do testing, airport testing, and tracking on apps, and we're going to have to get together to do this. But at the same time, Simon, I'm going to say again that, I got to figure out how to operate within this environment that I'm in today. And I guess it's going to be virtual, for a while, because I don't see things changing dramatically before the end of the year and into the next quarter. And so I am definitely focusing on virtual and what I can do to connect with people virtually, and to connect in business virtually, and just figure out how to do business in the current environment I'm in today. Zaria, you're welcome. It was really good to hear from you down there in Rio. Hope I get to get down there again, sometime. So, that's really cool. Hey, I want to talk about a few things coming up. Simon, I apologize, but maybe we can talk about your event, on another session, but I don't have the information up in front of me. But, check out Simon Barker's profile, and he has an event coming up. I think, if I remember right, it was next year, and maybe we can talk about that in another session. But you should check that out, because that would be a great networking opportunity for you. There's been a couple that I've attended recently that have provided some new connections, virtual events that I've attended recently that have provided new connections. And let me just give a shout out to a couple of things that are going on. Hey, I was contacted by a business associate of mine, Emily. Just a minute here. I dropped her page, and Emily is with the Aerospace Summit. But anyway, just really quickly here, I wanted to give a shout out to her. I have signed up for an event next week, which is with the annual Aerospace Summit. The Aerospace Futures Alliance. And so the Aerospace Futures Alliance is an alliance which basically brings together manufacturers to be able to support the growth within the aerospace industry. And Emily Whitman is the president and CEO of the Aerospace Futures Alliance. And they have a conference actually coming up next week. It's called the AFA Summit 2020. And you can actually go to their website, which is at afa-wa.com. And you can sign up for their event, their upcoming event next week. And it'll be a great event, because if you're looking for a way to do networking and connect with people, they have leaders from different manufacturers like, Boeing and other OEMs in the region. And, we all need to be finding ways to be able to connect and to network. And one way to do that in this day and age, with the situation that we're in, is to do it through virtual events. All right. And there's a lot of them that are coming up, and many of them give opportunity to do direct connections with people and do direct networking. So I wanted to suggest that you reach out. You can go to LinkedIn and you can reach out to Emily Whitman, Wittman, directly with the Aerospace Futures Alliance, or you can go to their website, and you can register for their event. That one's next week. Actually, it's on. Let's see, I got it up here on my other screen. It's on the 14th of October. It's next week. So that's one of them that's coming up. And another really good one, which is next month, is I'm actually going to be speaking at this one. at the Aircraft Commerce, the virtual conference and expo. And that's one that I've been attending for years now in physical attendance in Amsterdam and in the UK and in Bangkok and in Miami. And it's a great event where airlines and MROs get together and to be able to learn about the industry and what's happening with IT in the industry. And I really support that because digital transformation in the industry is, what I do. But, they, like everybody else, have had to go, virtual. And so they have their first ever, I think it's their first ever virtual event coming up on November 16th through the 20th. And I'll be providing more information about it over the next few weeks. But I am actually going to be speaking in 3 separate sessions in that event. And that is an amazing opportunity to be able to connect with people. And they're specifically in the aviation aerospace industry and those that are interested in digital. And so if that's your domain, you are definitely going to want to go to the Aircraft Commerce event and check that out. You can go to the Aircraft Commerce website, which is aircraft-commerce.com, and look at their conferences coming up. And that's the Aircraft IT conference. That one's coming up. Let's see what else we have here. So let's see. We have another LinkedIn user that said the IATA forecast is rebounding of aviation and airlines till 2024. What's my opinion on that subject? Wow. Okay. So that's entirely possible. Last month we had Dave Marcantel from Oliver Wyman, another company which is a foundation in forecasting the industry, the MRO industry and the aviation airline industry. And they were showing a slow progression of recovery, over the next 2 years, really. And so I just, I can't predict out to 2024. And so what's my opinion? Is it going to not recover until 2024? I don't know. I hope not. But what I can tell you is that we in the industry need to lean into the industry and we need to drive recovery. I tell you right now is that I can drive my business. And if I can drive my business and create activity, we all can create activity in the industry. All right. And it's through all of our collective efforts that we will be able to drive recovery and success. And so, look, you may say that it's not going to recover until 2024. Is that I think we have control over that. We have control over where things go and what happens. You definitely have control over what part of the business that you're focusing on. All right. And so if you are in a part of the industry which provides, air transport, or if you're in one of the major airlines, or if you're in one of the regional airlines, there's definitely going to be some challenges and difficulties. But what I will tell you is that different airlines have been affected differently. All right. Last month, we had Fernando Minwa of Gol, Brazilian Gol, all right, on our summit. And I know Fernando because he used to work at Boeing, all right? And he told me that Gol has been definitely impacted. Everybody's been adversely impacted, all right? But their business model was mostly domestic flying within Brazil, all right? And so their business model was that they weren't flying internationally, all right? And so they have been less affected by this shutdown from flying from country to country because of their business model, all right? There's other airlines in Europe like Wizz Air and Ryanair and some others like that that have found themselves in a stronger position because of their business model. And so what's my answer to that? Look, maybe you need to pivot and focus on selling services to those airlines that are doing well, or maybe you need to think about a job change and go to an airline that's doing well, all right? Or go to an MRO that's doing modifications. But, I refuse to sit and just not do anything and wait. All right. I actually know airlines that have stated that we're holding out for the recovery. All right. And, I just don't know what recovery looks like. All right. I believe that recovery looks like understanding the changes in your environment around you, pivoting your business, and going to be successful in that new sector of business. All right. So what am I saying right now? All right. Look, digital transformation has always been my area of expertise. I've been doing this for 40 years now. Okay. Almost 40 years. All right. My wife says it's not 40 years, but listen, I count the fact that I started flying when I was 15 years old. All right. I have an A&P license. I have a commercial instrument multi-engine pilot license. I have an engineering degree. I have a master's degree in business. All right. Those things are all just fine and good and well. But listen, I've learned through the school of experience over the years, to learn how to understand aviation, how to understand manufacturers and what the needs are within those spaces, and how to implement digital within those spaces. All right. So what am I doing with that? I'm leveraging my experience that I have to be able to help other people to be successful in those spaces. All right. Now is the time to consider probably one of three things. All right. Or you might be in one of three categories. All right. You might be in a business in the airline industry, which is struggling right now. And you're saying, what do we have to do? All right. How do we become successful? All right. Well, if you're in a cash position where you're able to work on some of your digital activities to be able to create efficiencies so that when the industry begins to improve, that you can emerge more efficient, then you should be working on that right now. If you're in that category, you should be working on digital and working on digital transformation right now. If you are in a position where your airline has had to lay people off, or if your business is down and you're having to do more with less, which most of us are, then you need to be looking for ways to accomplish more work for less. We can do that through digital. We can do that through digital and digital transformation. That's the first category, all right? The second category is that if you are in a business which has the ability to be able to consider adjacent markets, all right? So I've talked to some airlines who have increased their cargo transport only. They have increased their charter operations and have had to decrease their scheduled passenger operations in order to be able to accommodate the different demands in the market. If you're a software company that can shift from selling into the regional jet industry, maybe you can go sell into the business jet industry, which is booming right now at this point in time. All right, that might be a shift, that you can make. So if you're in this category where the product and service that you have has been adversely affected, then maybe you need to consider, a shift. All right. The third category is that there are new business opportunities that are being created because of the environment that we're in today. Look, business is booming in the digital industry right now. We have the opportunity to connect. Listen, last year I flew 480,000 miles on the airlines, all right, internationally mostly. I can't do that right now, all right? So what am I doing? I'm now communicating digitally like what we are right now. And people accept that because we can't travel, all right? So if you're not leveraging the ability to be able to connect with people and network with people and sell digitally, you need to be doing that because you have an opportunity now. I don't have to spend a week and fly to Hong Kong and back. I can contact somebody and do a virtual, conference, and that's an accepted method of communicating today because I can't fly there. Let me see. I have another question here. Let me take a look at it real quick. Here, let me just throw it up on the screen here. So Zaria asked another question. I have my own business here, and I'd like to know how I can get my networking in the best way possible. I have an online English course, a distance course for international proficiency tests like TOEFL, Michigan, and Cambridge. What advice do you have for me? Okay, so Zaria, let me just say this, is that first of all, it looks like you have a product which you're selling. That's the first step. That's fantastic. And what I would be doing is that I would be here's what I do. Look, listen, I believe that the way that you can be successful is, first of all, I did not know that you had this business. All right. And that means that there's thousands of people out there that don't know that you have this business. All right. Today, there's probably going to be another 5,000 people that know that you have this business because you spoke up on this broadcast, and now people know that you have this business. All right. And so I'm going to throw that back up there on the screen again. So one of the things that we all have to do is we have to come out of obscurity. All right. If people don't know who we are or what our business is, then how in the world can we ever sell, or how can they buy from us? All right. So number one is that you need to engage on social media. Now, how do you go about doing that? All right. I believe that the most effective way of being successful in business is to be able to help other people. All right. Hey, listen, Zaria, you might think about doing some short, proficiency classes online for free. Give some of it away. And you know that we all can't learn in 60 minutes, to be proficient in English. We know that it's something that we have to do over a longer period of time. So offer something for free and help people. and then offer them to come into a class where you train people, following that. And so one of the things that I do is that, listen, the virtual summit that we did last month, we did completely free. I had 6,000 people that were able to, join our summit or register for our summit, and we did it completely free. All right. Why did I do that? Number one, I like to help people. I like to connect people. But I knew that by working with other people and connecting with other people, it would create new business opportunities for me, right? So number one, you need to get your name out there and people need to know who you are. What's the best way to do that? Virtual, social media. Number two, what do? Don't go out and do a hard sell on people. I say, my suggestion is that you give something away. You give something away for free, and then people will see that you can add value to what it is that they're doing and what they need, and then offer them, a course, all right? And so for the rest of you that have different businesses, that's a strategy that I frequently do. If you honestly want to help people, and if you genuinely add value to what it is that people need and what they're doing, they're going to see you as a person that they want to network with and to potentially do business with. And that's the way that I've, over the years, earned the trust of people and began to do business with people. So, I see you said you got it. Perfect. That's great. I'm glad that you, got some value from that. So, and listen, Zaria, if you wanted to have further conversation, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn, and, I'd be happy to give you some more advice, because really, I'm serious, is that I really am all about helping people. And if I can help people to be successful in this industry, I believe that they will come back to me and they will do business with me. All right. That's really what I do. That's really one of the things I do. All right. So, hey, listen, I'm going to wrap up this broadcast here, and I really appreciate all of you watching here today. And I just wanted to tell you that let's do more of this. I want to be able to do more conversations with you about how we can create success. And I'm going to continue to do my recovery and aviation interviews. And so keep an eye out for the interviews. I have a couple of them coming up here soon. And my other advice I give to you again is network right now. Okay. Leverage your virtual world, leverage your digital capabilities, and network with people, because you're going to need it. I can't change what's happening in the world. I can't change the forest fires. I can't change the politics of the election. I can't change the industry overnight. But what I can do is that I can network and I can be prepared. All right. And that's what I'm doing. I'm ramping up what I'm doing. I'm trying to connect more with people. And I would recommend to you greatly that you leverage digital and that you network. All right. Hey, listen, thanks for joining me, everybody, today. I'm going to try to do this more often. I appreciate all the people that have joined us from all around the world. And I always wrap up my broadcast by saying fair winds and following seas to you, because I want all of you to be successful in what you do. Thanks, and have a great day. Bye.